been working on this one yesterday and this morning. What I'm going to show you is how to do the water. Now the water's a little bit different. There's a fair amount of reflection in there, but also you have a lot going on under the surface, quite shallow lake. So I'm going to show you roughly how I do that now. Now what I've already done is I've worked on the top half of the lake here, because you've just got your regular downward reflections, and it's actually quite a still lake, so those reflections are quite good there. So I've done that. I still need to work on the waterline, but I'm going to do that afterwards. While this is still wet, this area here, I'm now going to work on getting this bit done, which is here. So from that point, the reflection gets to a point here where you can then start to see, just about there, some of the rocks under the water. Let's get working on that now. So this bit is what I did yesterday. This is the blocking. Now that's perfectly dry. This bit here is wet. You've just seen me do that. So now I'm going to add the darks into this bit of reflection here, which is clearly reflecting the trees above. Now just doing sort of sideways movements here. And I've just got this sort of flat brush here. I'm doing that with. Any brush will do. Okay, now one of the things we can do is using, I did the downward reflections with a comber brush, is just pull that reflection down just over this brown that we've just put on. That will help blend it a little bit more. So looking at the photograph, there are a few darker areas around here, so let's put those in. Basically what we're doing is putting the darkest bits in first, and then those rocks and the foliage and things that are under the surface, looks like there's some grass under there as well, we'll put that in afterwards. So it's very much the same as if we were just ignoring the fact there was water over the top, or if it was on land, if you like. Just going to be the same technique. Let's start putting in those lighter areas. So I'm going to find a smaller brush, something like this series, what is that? 302 size 8. That should work. It's by Rosemary & Co. And now we're going to mix this lighter colour. We're going to put these lighter rocks in that you can see in the photograph there. And now keeping the brush sideways again rather than vertical, I'm just going to put in some of the bigger rocks. So I'm just going with something a little bit softer again. That short flat is just a bit too stiff. It's not laying the paint on so well. It's almost taking some of the paint off as I'm trying to put paint on. So I'm going to give this one a go. This is the Ivory Dagger, the 1/8 of an inch. Give that a go. It's a little bit softer, so that should help put the paint on rather than take it off. The important thing when doing any details under the surface of the water is to try and keep them as soft as you can. And now just going to add some of the grasses that you can see in here. And I think I'll use the rigger brush for that. Now we're just going to start working on the sky reflection. Just going to refine this area where the reflection of the mountains and the hills there join the reflection of the sky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of this into the sky reflection and some of the sky reflection into the mountain reflection. So I'm going to use the series 302 and just going to do sort of nice, well, not long lines but horizontal little brush marks there to try and get it to look like ripples. So rather than leaning, because what I tend to do is steady my hand using my little finger, I steady my hand by resting that on the panel. And of course I don't want to do that because it's wet, so I use something to rest against. Mixing a little bit of liquid in with this as well. Okay, so now we've completed the sky reflection, it's now time to move into this corner here, and basically we're going to replicate what we've done on this side. It's going to be a little bit more tricky because we're going to have to really try and blend it in with this sky, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's start now by darkening what we have. It starts off quite blue, quite dark blue in this area. Probably that's a bit too dark, so just add a bit more titanium white. Just trying to sort of outline. We can see some of these rocks. Still think that's too dark. We can blend in a little bit with that blue sky reflection there. Okay, now start warming up the colour and trying to actually pick out some of the rocks that we can see in these areas here, and then we're going to have to change the colour considerably as we move into the bottom right hand corner. So, if you liked that video, please subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one, which will probably be next week. But now I'm just going to finish off doing some of the reeds and a few tiny little details, and then it'll be finished. So, see you soon.